we get this first episode of Smoke to Success started?
Smoke to Success, I love that.
There we go. I want to say a special thank you to you, Carlos. You're my brother, but you took your time out. I wanted to make sure that you're the first episode here. I want to thank Dennis. He runs a smoking gun. He put it out. One special thanks to Jennifer because she helped me figure a lot of this equipment out. I had no idea what I was doing.
Thank you, Jennifer.
And I want to thank everybody who's going to listen to it now and who's going to be listening to it in the future. And I definitely finish off with a nice cap off. Thanks to God. He's the reason I'm here right now, and he's the reason I'm in the position I'm in.
Facts.
So just to give a little intro about Carlos, I'm going to go a brief intro. I'm going to let him go more in depth. But I met Carlos a couple years back. We were actually working on a portfolio of multi and single family properties. Fell through. Neither of us still speak with the guy who connected us, but years later, we still talk every week. So, thank you, brother. Yeah. Thank you for being here, and tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Well, again, my name is Carlos Coppin. I'm a serial entrepreneur, husband, father, believer in Christ, all-around lover of life. And, you know, like Alon said, we met because of real estate.
Yep.
And, you know, it's been a real blessing to get to know you and to call you a brother, not a friend but a brother, because a brother will do anything for you when you're down. And I think we both know that. We've been down and we both picked each other back up, and so yeah, this is my brother, man. I love you, and thank you for this opportunity, bro. This means a lot. This really does mean a lot to me.
No, I appreciate it. I appreciate you taking this seriously. I appreciate that you appreciate it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Like I said, likewise over here, definitely means a lot. Like I said, I specifically waited to make sure that you were the first episode.
Thank you.
So I was trying to shoot about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
You had a couple closings. Got to handle your business stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what this podcast is about. It's about business. So
sure.
Definitely have to handle your business. So it took a little while. I had people asking me, hey, when can I start my shooting? I had different people I told about my podcast saying, hey, I want to be on an episode. I'm like, whoa. Carlos, number one.
Slow down.
Let's get Carlos in. Let me figure everything out, and we'll go from there. So finally, we got it. We made it happen.
Facts.
Carlos actually been passing by the smoke and gun store for a while now.
Yeah, this is right in Davie, right off of I forget what this street is, Davie Boulevard, I think. But I've been passing this shop for years, taking my kids to school every single day. Every single day I pass the shop, and never been in here. Actually, have eaten at the Subway next door with my kids multiple times. Don't eat Subway anymore. But yeah, man, this is a blessing, man.
Yeah, much appreciation again to Dennis. So tell me a little, tell everybody, explain a little bit about what you do and what are your plans to kind of move forward and kind of increase.
Sure. So I am a real estate investor, real estate entrepreneur. And I say real estate entrepreneur because I make money in real estate several different ways, right? So primarily, the bulk of my business is wholesaling real estate.
Okay.
So for those of you that don't know what wholesaling real estate is I basically look for deals. Most of the time, they're distressed properties that investors like to buy to fix and flip. So I'm the guy that goes out and finds the deals. I find the deals by doing marketing, several different forms of marketing, direct mail, pay-per-click, PPC, text blasting, cold calling. So there's different forms of marketing that I utilize to get these deals, but I'm good at finding deals, and that's what pays me. And I have a very big buyers list, huge network of buyers here in the state of Florida that I work with and sell deals to. Great title company out in Weston, Title Guarantee. Mark Bookstein's the owner. Good friends with him. So yeah, I also coach and teach people how to wholesale real estate. I have 2 great students under my belt right now.
Amazing.
That are both absolutely crushing it. Yeah, so you know, real estate is my bread and butter. Looking to expand into other venues,
Yeah, I mean, this is where I watch it.
That you and I will have dinner. We'll talk about. I don't really want to go into it on,
you can
on
keep
the podcast.
that. You can keep that later. Don't worry about it. That's a secret. That's a secret.
You and I will talk about that.
Oh, most definitely.
You know, the key is to have several streams of income.
Nice.
And the real estate market right now is so volatile. It's I don't want to say it's hard to find deals, but it's definitely a lot more difficult than it was, because in this seller's market being that the sellers are the ones who are really benefiting right now. Every seller wants $1 million for the property, right? So let's say a property after repair, ARV, after repair value to ARV, is, let's say the property's worth $350, right? So I'll approach a seller. The house needs full rehab. It's got a hole in the roof, got all these things, needs like $100 grand to fix it up. They still want $350 for the property. And that's like almost everyone, because you know they get caught up in the media and what's going on TV, and it's not realistic to have a property that needs 300 or 100,000 in repair and want 350,000 for it.
Yeah, we all.
It's not realistic.
And I've talked to so many delusional sellers, and you know, it's like you really don't want your property sold, is it? I mean,
right. Like the roof is caving in. You really don't want it. You're really not motivated, and you know, that's what I look for. I look for motivated sellers, people that are motivated and seriously looking to sell. And you know, yeah, I'm looking for deals, right? I'm looking for discounts, but you know, people don't understand like how many people we help.
Most certainly. Doing
what we do.
I know a lot of people are going through foreclosures. You're going to help them repair their credit, or help their credit from being, you know, destroyed.
Absolutely.
By avoiding foreclosures. At the end of the day, I think what a lot of people don't understand, they might come and think you're scooping up or taking advantage, but at the end of the day, you're providing an out.
Yeah.
You're providing value. You're providing benefit. That's what business is. You need to each you know, supply some benefit. At the end, if he forecloses, he's not going to make anything. Sometimes you can put extra pocket of money in their pockets so they can get a rental property, so they can rent somewhere. Sure. You know, they can get out of their place and they can move somewhere else. You know, you found them somebody to take that over. You provided value that a lot of people don't see, you know, from the outside looking in, because they're just thinking you just came in and vultured their property. But
absolutely,
it's not what it is. That's not the case at all.
And I got to tell you, I've never done a deal with a seller that wasn't happy at the end of the deal.
Of course.
You know, and I tell everybody when I speak to them on the phone, listen, we cannot do a deal if we're both not excited about it, if we're both not pleased at the closing table. So if you're, you know, at the closing table and you're upset, the deal's not going to work.
Oh, for sure. You know, that's what I like about this industry, because there's a lot of businesses out there where the saying goes, if you're both unhappy, that's when you found the fair price.
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily the case here.
Doesn't translate, no.
Yeah, that doesn't really translate here. No. So that's amazing.
Yeah. Everybody has to be happy, and then, like you said, there's that stigma that investors just kind of come in and swoop and steal properties from people. I can tell you it's far from the truth. You know, it doesn't work unless everybody is happy, and of course, nobody's happy to lose their home, right? But they're happy to save their credit, like you said. A lot of times people inherit properties. That's a headache. Mm-hmm. They're paying taxes on it. They're paying to upkeep the property, and you know, they're throwing away money every month, and they want nothing more than to get rid of the property. So they call guys like me to come in and do a deal. Yeah,
or maybe one of their relatives just passed away, and that house just reminds them all memories of you know, and it just brings a little bit of depression and sadness, and they want to just make that house, that sale, the closure that they need to move on from a family member, a significant other, whatever the case may be, a good friend of theirs, whatever the case may be.
Absolutely. And that's funny you say that, because I'm closing on a deal in Opelika. I don't know if you saw that one. A 2-2.
I got to go back and look at my emails. That's very possible I did go over. I always make sure I take a look at your emails.
Yeah, but it's a case where husband lost his wife, and you know, the house just brings too many painful memories.
Of course, yeah.
He wanted a cash offer. He didn't want 1,000 people going through his property. Mm-hmm. You know, he wanted it to be peaceful, quiet, and quick, and that's what we offered him.
Yeah, you don't want to drag something like that on. You just want it to be, rip it up like a Band-Aid.
You just want to get it done, and that's what we did for him. And we're closing on March 3rd, hopefully.
That's amazing. I'm sure that hopefully will turn into it definitely very soon.
Yeah.
March 3rd is right around the corner, so it's always good to book these wins. I know you told me about some of your wins. They range. Obviously, sometimes you have little baby closings. Sometimes you got big boys that you close and make what somebody made in a year and one deal.
Yeah.
A lot of people always think this is something funny, and I have a conversation with all my friends and entrepreneurs, because from the outside looking in, you close a big deal. You made the most you've ever made in a certain year, and everybody thinks, wow, this man just did it out of nowhere. And they don't realize that every year of making 20,000 in your business, 10,000 in your business, 5,000 in the whole year, like that culminated into you making 300, 500, 1 million, whatever the number may be. Everybody's definition of success is different, so everybody's metrics were going to be different. But whatever that number may be, the fact that every single failure year, or whatever you call, I don't want to call it failure because it's just it's a stepping stone, it's a way to learn. But every single year until that point brought you to your quote unquote overnight success.
Absolutely. And I can tell you, when I got started, I was working doing IT. I had an IT company, and I was working full time doing IT at a dental office in Boca. And this was my schedule, right? So I lived in Plantation. The office was in Boca. So work started at 7:30. So I'm a young guy, married, 2 young babies. So I'm leaving the house 6:45 to get to Boca at 7:30, right? So it was 10-hour days. So by the time I'm done, it's 6:30 on a good day, right? And then I have my IT business. So after that, I'm going to see clients. So usually not getting home till 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. Both my babies are asleep. I'm exhausted to the point where I can't even hold a conversation with my wife because I'm so tired, So it's just like you go home, you eat, you go to sleep, and that was the cycle for a very long time. And I just wasn't satisfied, and I knew, like, God, this can't be my life. Like, this can't be it. So what happened? The Wolf of Wall Street. His real name escapes me. Jordan Belfort. He came and he gave a lecture on sales, and you and I, we are big sales guys.
Oh, yeah.
So
part of being a people person.
Yeah, absolutely. Sales, it's automatic. When you're a people person, it's automatic. So I love sales. I love Jordan Belfort. So I said, I'm going to go listen to him speak. So I paid, and he gave his talk on sales and excellent sales techniques and stuff like that. Will you like me?
I got you, brother. I got you.
Excellent talk on sales. So after his talk, he starts talking about real estate and buying properties with no cash down, no credit. Thank you. So he starts talking about real estate, no cash, no credit. So I'm like, this is interesting. So of course they had an upsale for their real estate course. And of course I couldn't afford it. I think it was like $5,000.
Yeah, they're usually never that cheap.
Yeah, no. So people are running to the back room, swiping their credit card. Like I had maybe $100 in my bank account, if that, right? So, it stuck in my mind because real estate has always been near and dear to me. And I don't know if you know this, but before I got into IT, I actually took real estate course to get my license.
I didn't know that. I knew you were in IT because I remember you talking to me about it, and I know you have I know you had some friends that are like big IT guys that they have like a suite up in the Dolphins games, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember we're supposed to go to one.
Yeah. So don't worry, we'll have a suite upcoming year. I took the real estate course, and I passed it, and I didn't get my license because I didn't believe in myself. And I'll explain that further, right? Young man, engaged to my wife, about to get married, and I had a passion for real estate. Always had a passion. I passed the course, and I thought to myself, if I get my real estate license, you know, I'm gonna have to hustle. I'm gonna have to depend on me to get a paycheck. And I said to myself, you can't do it. Boy, was I wrong. And man, how my life would have been different if I,
you were wrong, but in the moment you were right because you made yourself believe that.
Sure, absolutely.
So like the old saying goes, whether you believe you can, believe you can't, you know, you're right.
You're right. Absolutely.
It's that mentality, it's that mindset, and trust me, I know how cutthroat can be, but as you've seen, you know, through your months, your years of success in the real estate game, if you don't go out and do it, like this podcast was in my brain for a while.
Sure.
But what people don't understand is that everything in this planet was conceived up here before it was conceived down here.
Facts.
So I was saying, oh, let me do this. I want to do it this way. Da 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 da. Had a conversation with this guy in the podcast industry. He's like, just do it.
Yeah.
Like, just do it.
Just do it.
So Dennis was like, boom, gave me this place right here. It just all lined up perfectly.
It just lined up.
And that's the way, because you believe. I've been putting this in my mind for so long that it was going to happen, that there wasn't a question of if it was. If it was always just when.
Sure.
And when is now. You know,
Absolutely.
like we say, when's the best time when's the best time to do something? Yesterday. When's the second best time? Today.
Yeah, yeah. And I just want to encourage everybody that's listening to this podcast, you gotta believe in yourself, man. If you don't believe in yourself, your life is gonna be miserable. It's gonna be mundane. It's gonna be ordinary. And I gotta tell you, one of my old managers in this call center that I used to work in, his name was Johnny. Johnny Goodtime, he called himself. And he said, he always used to say, Carlos, we're here for a good time, not a long time. Yeah. And if you don't believe in yourself, bro, like, life is gonna suck.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go play on that as well, because I'll be 100% honest. God put something inside of me that just doesn't like accept like just a average life. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with just the wife, the kids. Right. You got your job. You make good money. Two weeks of vacation every year. Until you're 59, 60, 65, whatever the case may be. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's just something like how many times I've been busting my head through the walls, and how many times I've just been just met with I don't want to say failures, but outcomes that I didn't want to happen. Right. And I was like, why can't I sometimes I just wish I could just settle down and just do the whole, because I have an amazing personality. I can get whatever job I want and make a decent amount of money. Sure. Just off my personality alone, just off what I know, just off my knowledge, I can learn anything relatively quickly, and I can be pretty good at it. But I don't want to be pretty good. I want to do something where I can decide my own freedom, which obviously. What people understand in this world, obviously there's both sides of the coin. My family's from Cuba. They came from a communist country. In the communist country, the government dictates how you live. Yeah. In a capitalist country, companies dictate how you live. Yeah. It's one or the other. I choose capitalism over anything, because at least in the capitalist country, you have the ability to manipulate the system into where you become a company yourself, and you call the shots. Exactly, big fact. Yeah. So. That's why I just never been able to just be in that mundane, like you said, the rat race. You do the same thing over and over every day, every year, and then 40 years down the road, you're like, okay, what am I doing? Yeah. What did I do? Yeah. Yeah. So this is part of the reason I did this, is because I know there's a lot of people that need to hear this. I've accumulated a plethora of mentors. I consider you one of my mentors, and I've accumulated so many mentors. I read. I don't think I could count the amount of books I've read, the amount of videos I've watched, the amount of seminars I've been to. So I'm not doing this podcast because I'm saying that I know everything, but I'm saying I've learned enough from, maybe not say enough, but I've learned a good amount from a lot of people who know a lot more than I do. So I could take that information and pass it on to people who don't have access to that.
Absolutely.
That's what you're doing here. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm distributing, because that information is not meant to be hoarded. Right. It's meant to be shared. What you give, you return. It comes back in return tenfold. It's in the Bible. Whether you want to believe the Bible to be factual, whether you want it to be a storytelling, whether there's no denying that if you start reading the Bible, if you look at it from an outside
is gonna
perspective,
change.
not even just in a religious manner, but there's stories in there that teach you secrets to unlock like this life we live in. And I think that's kind of what the aim is, you know, because I know that we weren't put on this earth to just work a job and
Absolutely
die.
not.
And I feel like the day it's my time to go is the day that God said, okay, you did what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Like, now come home.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you know, it's something you look forward to. At the same time, you want to take advantage of every single second you have on this earth.
Absolutely, absolutely right. And you know, God is good at the end of the day.
Facts.
But you know, to make a long story short, to you know everybody watching this podcast, you know, believe in yourselves. And you know, just to finish up, you know, my story, I didn't take the test to get my license. Ended up getting into IT. Saw Jordan fast forward, saw Jordan Belfort, and you know, he started talking about real estate, no cash, no credit. So I started to, you know, Google it, look it up, and it was called real estate wholesaling. So I'm like, wow. So it took me 11 months to get my first deal.
Wow.
11 months of
determination.
Losses, loss after loss after loss. But those losses were lessons.
Yep.
And I was determined, bro. I was determined, and before you know it, 11 months passed by. I got my first deal, $5,000. I'll never forget that seller, very sweet lady. I actually filled out the contract wrong when I sent it to her. She's like, "No, sweetie, this is wrong. You got to fill it out this way." You know, seller's like showing me how to fill out the contract. I had no clue.
Yeah, the perfect seller. She was there.
Oh,
before
she was perfect. She was a godsend. She was a for sale by owner. I found.
Actual godsend.
Yeah, actual godsend. And she showed me how to fill out the contract, and it took me 11 months to get that. Then my second deal, I got it like a month later, and then I just started rolling, bro. And then before I knew it, I was making more in a couple months than I was making at my job.
So you're one of the very few people who take, you know, listen to these seminars. They go there and they hear about these courses that actually do something with it. What I'd like to talk to a lot of people about, I know you've told me about before, but a lot of people that go through these seminars and they think they're going to automatically, that's it. I go to the seminar, I pay $5,000, boom, I'm a genius.
Yeah, no.
These guys, they make their money off the seminar.
Yeah.
They don't make their money off you making money.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes they do certain things to where they do a, you know, mentorship program to where they're getting a piece of every deal you make.
Sure.
And so they have a little, you know, invested interest to make sure that you do very well.
Yeah.
But for the most part, they just made $5,000 off you.
Absolutely.
And they made $5,000 off. Maybe they made $5,000 off 100 people that month.
Sure.
So they just made $500,000. Why would you sell? Why would I waste my time selling real estate?
Right.
I just made $500,000 selling seminars.
And to be honest with you, a lot of those guys that do the seminars, they're not even doing deals.
Exactly.
They're just selling at the seminar.
They're salespeople. They're salespeople. Except for selling houses, they sell dreams.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they don't care if you actually achieve your dreams.
Facts.
You know, we've talked about this before. So now so many people are selling these leads and this and that.
Yeah.
Hey, if the leads are that good, why won't you just go capitalize on it?
Right.
But no, you don't want to do that. You rather
Right.
sell the leads to 20 people.
Sure.
And you're gonna make more money off the leads than you would have done trying to call all 20 leads.
Absolutely.
But going back to your 11 months, during that time, that 11-month time period, two-part question. One, was there ever a part where you're like, man, I gotta quit? And two, was there ever a time where you said during that time, like, this is, you know, after your first deal, like, this is gonna change my life and I'm gonna do this full time? Like, you know, those two-part questions. So
yeah. So to answer the first part, and I want to take a second to shout out to my wife because
I knew you were gonna say that.
yo, like she is the definition of ride or die.
Amazing.
For richer or for poor, through sickness and death. Like she is the definition. You know, when I first got started, you know, I had no money to market, so I was writing up handwritten letters.
Yeah. Wow.
And she was there with me, stuffing the letters, writing them up. So there were many times, dude, when I wanted to give up, and she wouldn't let me. She's like, dude, you got into this, you can do it, you finish it. And you know, I always say like she's my guardian angel because she pushes me.
That's amazing.
You know, and she knows that once I hook my mind into something, Like that's it. Like even my YouTube channel, she's like, you know, busting my balls because I haven't vlogged in a while. She's like, dude, what's up with you?
What's your channel again?
Living with Los.
There you go.
Living with Los on YouTube. And I haven't vlogged in like 2 months. She's like, bro, what's going on? You know, so, you know, she's my supreme motivator. But yes, there were so many times during that 11 months, bro, where I just wanted to quit. But the thought of just living, like I knew if this real estate thing doesn't work out, like my life is over. Like it's gonna be 9 to 5 forever.
Yeah.
And for guys like us,
That's death.
that's death.
That's literal.
That's
death.
no good, no bueno.
You're a zombie.
It's just no good, bro. Like we need to be cause we need to be masters of our own destiny.
Facts. I mean, facts. Yeah. That's all I can say.
And you know, it took me a while to realize. It took me a while to shake the fear, because, dude, I was married, 2 kids when I quit my job. So, you know, some of you guys that are single, no kids, that are scared to jump, like, what are you waiting on? I was married, 2 kids.
Yeah.
When I left the corporate world. You know, and even my wife was like, she was even like down, she was like, bro, are you sure? Like, it's like, you got a good job, are you sure? And I'm like, yo, if I don't quit, I'm going to die.
Yeah. So that's funny too. One of my companies, financial services company, and my mentor Michael, he was same, 2 kids, married. He was making $280,000. You know, he was working. I don't know if that was his last job before he quit his job, but he was working for Merrill Lynch. Ended up needing to do something for himself. Merrill Lynch was basically telling him that you know the clients need to be bigger, and he wanted to help a lot more people. So he made a conscious decision. He's like, I'm just gonna start my own thing. And you know, at the end of the day, he did the same thing you did. He has 2 kids. He was married. He went from $280,000. First year, sheer determination, made $72 grand. You know, that's actually, you know, pretty. A lot of people don't make that. You know, with more kids.
Sure.
And you know, he still did it out of sheer determination. Now, I mean, he's gonna break $1 million this year, and he's mentoring me personally, helping me through this industry. Something I got into not too long ago, but just maneuvering, understanding the ins and outs, and I've seen a lot of success in a very short period of time.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's I don't have kids, I don't have a wife, I don't have any of that. So for me, it's never been I've been the type of person that's just like, on the drop of a dime, I go.
Yeah.
You know, I was on a couple professional football teams, and I've literally, you know, my goal was to play in the NFL. Spoiler alert, didn't happen. But I was on a couple professional football teams, and
why did I not know that?
Yeah, I thought we've talked about it before. Yeah, small teams one up in St. Petersburg. I actually, for that team, I was playing on a semi-pro team. After I finished playing college, you know, semi-pro team, you know, you don't get paid for that. You actually have to pay for the league to get the fees and everything going. Well, made it the All-Star game, and my boy was talking about this one league that was opening up, and they were both invited to be on the team. And they needed to start with the workouts. The workouts were in Tampa, right? Tampa, St. Petersburg area. 10 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. I had a job. I would wake up every day at 5 o'clock. I would wake up every Saturday for like 6 weeks, drive 4 hours to Tampa to go to the workout, because it was basically a tryout. You know, I wasn't invited, I just went. My boys weren't there, I was. And I drove 4 hours every week.
Wow.
Did my workout for like hours. Was there working out for hours, hot sun.
What position?
And I played D-end when I was in school, and then I went to play linebacker. I was a middle linebacker when I went to play over there, right? So I was there for hours. Turn around, drive back home.
Jeez.
1 day trip, 4 hours one way, 4 hours the other way, just for a tryout that I didn't know I was gonna make a team. I didn't know if I was gonna make a team. I had no idea. Made the team. Coaches were like, yes, I'm not gonna lie, we never really expected you. We never really expected you to make the team. You came out of nowhere. We didn't even know you were going to be there. You know, and you know, so you surprised a lot of us. You opened a lot of eyes. Actually, one practice had a pick 6, and I had another interception that slipped right through my hands. But Joe Namath was there.
Wow.
And he came to me out there. He's like, "Hey, amazing practice. Like, you're gonna do some good things." And it's kind of cool.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
You know, when someone like that nature tells you something like that. All the workouts I went to, different teams. I had this one cat. He used to play in the NFL. He was a Pro Bowler, defensive back. And I was actually trying out for tight end at that position. So I played tight end and I played linebacker. So for this particular team, I tried as a tight end. Comes to me at the end, he's like, "Not gonna lie to you, I haven't seen routes like yours." So it's kind of cool when you get acknowledgement from people of this caliber. You know, I've always worked out with a lot of NFL players, and you know, my first when I was making the transition, I went to Bomberito, which is at Ventura. I remember one of my first days, just they see my cleats look to my right was Wes Welker. You know, then later go to the gym, I see like Carlos Dunlap, Frank Gore.
They have a location in Davie also.
I believe they have multiple locations. Yeah, I went to the one up in Aventura. So, you know, football is a big part of who I was. When I got cut, you know, I remember crying my eyes out.
Man.
And this guy came to me, one of the guys on the team, I believe he was a pastor as well.
Yeah.
And he was on the team, and he came to me and goes, "Listen, God's smallest thoughts are inconceivable to you. You will never be able to comprehend them." And you know, when you're balling, you don't think about it. But then, you know, as time goes, you realize, like, who am I to tell what my plans are? You know, I'm gonna do everything about that God puts in my heart, but everything happens for a reason. Who knows if I would have gotten, you know, maybe concussions to the point where I would have had some brain damage? Who would have known if I would have gotten some type of, you know, ridiculous injury? Who knows? You know, but what we do know is that wasn't in the books for me. And at first it's hard to swallow, but then after it's like, I don't think about it. You know, every once in a while I see a game, I'm like, man, I kind of wish I could strap up the cleat, strap up the pads and get the cleats going. But I'm a competitor. Like, no matter what, I still play. You know, every once in a while I'll play flag football. Everybody comes sees me. You know, I got a big belly. You know, come in, boom, leave. I find out from one of my friends, yo, when you left, they're like, damn, I didn't think this guy could blaze like that. I still got the speed. I used to run with my boys that ran, you know, wide receivers, running backs, like running hundreds with them, running. So I could get. Yeah, I got to. When I was 250, my 40 was like a 4.51. Wow. You know, so I could move a little bit, and I felt like I could go a little faster than that. You know, maybe I couldn't, but I felt like I could. You know, maybe I could. So who knows? That part's behind me, but that's who I am today because I went into business after football.
Gotcha.
But yeah, man.
That's incredible, man.
Yeah, it's all about, you know, determination. I did something that people who probably had it a lot easier, you know, coming to big one D1 schools, you know, have everything at their hands, you know, superstars, and don't do play football after. You know, I did things. To me, I actually take that as a win. You know.
Sure.
Yeah, my journey was definitely not the typical journey, and
that's okay.
It's my journey.
It's your journey.
It's my journey. It's a story that nobody can say they have.
Right.
You know, and it's unique to me, as your story is unique to you.
Absolutely.
And it's going to be a big determination in how our future plays out. No matter how much we want to believe we know how the future is going to come out, we don't, and that's okay. But I can envision. You know, and I'm going to do everything I can. Because I believe the visions that we have are put into us by God, and for a reason. You know, He doesn't give us these grandiose visions so we do nothing with this life.
Yeah.
You know, you literally, I always I'll hit you up. Hey, I'm going to hit you right back. I'm at my school's, kids' school volunteering.
Yeah.
You can do that.
Yeah.
How many parents could do that?
Not many.
Not many at all. And you can do that because of what you set up for yourself and what you're setting up, you know, for the future. Because I know we've alluded a little bit past what you got coming out in the future. I'm super excited to hear more about it. But I mean, those things that you talk about are things that take you from where you're at to even the next level.
Absolutely.
You know, it's all about duplication. You know, in business, duplication is key. You know, I have 24 hours in a day. If I got 10 people, now we got 240 hours in a day.
Bingo.
You know, so now, what am I doing? You know, you can get more done.
Team is so vital. And it took me a long time to realize how important a team was to the general success of your business, right? Like when I first started and I was doing deals, I was like, man, I just need to do this all by myself, you know, make all the money. But that's a selfish mentality, and it's also that kind of mentality keeps you on one level. But if you have a team, bro, the things you can achieve with a team, and you get everybody running on the same page, everybody knows their role.
True.
Like the sky's the limit.
No, that's definitely true. I mean, we can only accomplish so much for ourselves.
There's only so much we can do.
Exactly. And when you have a team, it helps you understand the differences between being a boss and being a leader.
Sure.
You know, jobs have bosses.
Sure.
Companies and teams have leaders.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you need that leader. When you build something for yourself, you need to be a leader, because at the end of the day, everybody you're teaching what to do so they can do for themselves to help create millionaires. That's something that I truly, one of my goals for myself is to help create people, help people become millionaires. You have to do everything you tell them to do. They're gonna see what you do.
Absolutely.
Something somebody told me one time is they're gonna take in 10% of what you tell them, and they're gonna take in more of what you do.
That's the truth.
So
and I can attest to that with my students. You can talk all day, but I'd much rather get into the field with them. And show them hands-on. Let me show you how to do this. Let me show you how to talk to a seller. Let me show you how to fill out a contract. Let me show you what to do when you're going to look at a deal. What to look for. And I think that's important, just to be hands-on with people. And I think it's important to take what we know and to share it with other people. And you don't necessarily have to share it for free all the time, right? But it's important to share what you know. And even through this podcast, right? This is free game.
Yeah.
This is free game right here. Like, somebody's gonna watch this, and I guarantee you, you're gonna change somebody's life.
Well, you too. I mean, you're on this podcast as well. Maybe someone gets into the real estate game because of you. And like you said about not always free, because sometimes you need to put a price on something so it can be valuable.
Facts. Because what I've learned is the people that I try to teach real estate for free, they don't appreciate it. They don't stay in it. But the people that pay for my mentorship are the ones that always succeed, and the ones that just blow my mind away.
Yeah, they understand that they're actually investing something. Not just your time, which is actually more valuable than money, but they're actually investing time and money. So now your investment's greater. When people start putting monetary value on things, when people start realizing, like, hey, I'm gonna make a conscious decision that this is what I'm gonna do. Mm-hmm. You start seeing wonders. Obviously, it doesn't work for everybody. People separate themselves apart, but I do believe there's a little thing inside of a few, maybe not, I'm not gonna say a few select people, but inside people that will determine if you have the will to do something for yourself, be a leader, be able to create something for yourself. Or if some people are just, and I don't want to say born to be employees, but they're just more comfortable going the employee route. There's nothing wrong with that, because we need it. We need it.
Yeah, and it took me a long time to realize that, because, in my mind, I would always tell my wife, why isn't everybody an entrepreneur? But the truth is, everybody can't be an entrepreneur.
That's true.
Everybody can't be a boss.
That's true.
It's not, and it's just not for everybody.
It's not, and actually it's funny though, because the way that the society is changing with everything that's going on, it's starting to be where you can kind of be on your own a little bit more. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, it's impossible.
Sure.
You need people who are gonna have jobs, and people, they like it. They have no problem with it.
There's nothing wrong.
And there's nothing wrong with that in the world. There's nothing wrong with that at all. So I'm like you. I used to look at people and used to be like, I always wondered why people didn't want more for themselves. But it's not fair. It's not a fair assessment to make, because maybe that's exactly what they want.
Facts.
So how can I determine what they want?
Right.
I can't.
How can I judge somebody? That's what you want.
Yeah. I always ask people I always like to ask people what their end game is.
Right.
Make them think, because sometimes they don't even think about it.
Right.
And I just love to hear what people's answers are.
Right.
And I love to find a way to to help and put my my input. Sometimes it's not wanted, and I don't do it in a place of malice, in a bad spirit. I just, feel like that's something that can help. But, maybe sometimes it's not wanted, but at the end of the day, that's for them to decide.
Sure.
Sure. If they don't and they let me know, hey, I back off.
Yeah.
But I just like to have that conversation with people, because it's a conversation that sometimes people just don't have.
Right.
they don't even reflect inside themselves. Sometimes people don't even realize like what they want. They just don't.
Right.
Like they don't even know what they want for themselves,
no clue.
and they've never even thought to question themselves about it.
They have no clue.
So it's all about, sometimes you just need to ask somebody different questions that just may have never been asked before,
Right.
and it could just change the way somebody. That's why I always do. You know, at the end of the day, it may not always be my place, but you never know that, you know, the one person that you ask that one question to could change their life completely, because they just actually just question their own reality. You know, they just question like, what is my motivation here? What is it? And it's worth it. You know, hey, maybe some people didn't like it. Maybe I rubbed some people the wrong way.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if a few people, you know, however many it may be, maybe just one, you know, completely change their lives and are, you know, forever grateful that they made that decision to change their life for themselves, it's worth it.
Absolutely, 110%
It's worth it.
110%. You know, and I'm the same way. And you know, I've been told, oh, well, you know, you're too aggressive, or you're too this, or too that, and you know, because I like to push. I like to push my friends, my family, to be the best version of themselves they can be. And you know, sometimes I push a little too hard, but it's just that passionate, dude. And I realize that we are not here for a long time. Like life is short, bro. Like don't live it, you know, just sucking. Like
you're gonna create somebody else. You're gonna create your own dream. Or you're gonna create somebody else's dream.
Absolutely,
it's one or the other. It's kind of hard to live in the gray area.
Right. And I'm the guy, like I want to see everybody win. Like I don't want to be at the top of myself. What fun is that?
They say it's lonely at the top of it. It doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be. If you reach out and you say, dude, come up, let me show you how to do this. Let me show you how to get to the money. Dude, we all can get it. And real, like we say all the time, real estate, there's enough deals for everybody. You know, I don't gotta do shady things and go behind your back, and dude, there's enough deals for everybody.
For real.
We can all get to the money together.
For real. And everything I say here, I don't, you know, try to take it in a place where I feel like I'm better than everybody. Like, oh, I have to understand it's my job. It's my job. Now, it's something I'm passionate about. It's something that God put inside of me. This will to be able to talk to people. This hunger. I've always, you know, loved speaking to people. I've always, you know, been a big people person. So I'm no better than nobody. Nobody's any better than me. You know, we're all people. We all have our own past. We all have our own walks of life. So I don't come to this a place where I'm above everyone. I'm speaking to somebody. We're at the same level. I'm speaking to you.
Absolutely.
You're speaking to me. If somebody wants to take something from this, which I hope that they really do,
100%.
That's why I do it. I don't just do this out of vain. I do this because I actually want people to learn something. And like I said, I truly hope, and I almost certainly know that they will. That's why I do it.
Yeah.
Nah, nothing. I'm a humble person.
Yeah.
I'm a confident person.
Yeah.
But you can be confident and humble.
Yeah. No, you're super humble, man.
Arrogant is a different story.
You're one of the most humble guys that I know, man. And I think that's what I love about you the most, dude, is your humbleness, man. It's refreshing.
You know, and life lessons will teach you how to be real humble real quick. I've gone up and down very fast. As you know, I like to gamble, you know, and you can see real quick how things change very
Still
fast.
gotta take me to casino.
You know I'm ready when you are. I'm trying to, you know, I've been getting so busy, so I haven't been able to play as much as possible.
Yeah.
But that's a good thing, you know.
Yeah.
That's
for
a
sure.
good thing, but I'm always down for a good time.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah. So it's just part of who I am, and I think it's that gambling comes from me being a home run hitter kind of guy. You know, every time I walk in to play some poker, it's like I won't make as much as I can.
Facts.
You know, you got people come in saying, you know, I'm gonna lose this money. Why would I even bother going if that's the case? You know, last year I did pretty well for myself inside playing poker. You know, I know how to almost make 10,000 one day. I won a tournament for about 5,000 another day. You know, I enjoy it. It's something that I've learned a lot. I love to learn new things, and I think being a people person helps you in the game of poker.
Sure.
Because you kind of know how to read things, situations. I flop, you know, I completely miss sometimes, completely, you know, misread a situation sometimes, and you know, I'll lose a big hand because of it, but I won a lot of big hands. You know, you know, you don't feel good because you take somebody's money, but sometimes when someone just throws a card in because you made a call that they didn't expect you to make because they're making a big bluff, you're like, Yeah, I read that one.
Yeah, take it to the bank.
Yeah, so it's fun, and to me, it's just a way to develop some skills, you know. But I lost a lot of years. I was losing a lot of years, but then I started watching the videos, the vlogs, and this is part of, like I said, why I'm doing this.
Yeah.
You know, I watch vlogs, and I'm grateful for the people who are able to watch. You know, all the pros, all the big time guys. I like to watch Rampage Poker. I think I've showed you one of his videos to help you with your YouTube channel. Johnny Vibes, Jamin Burden. There's a lot of guys. You know, and even the pros, like just like watching different, you know, big tournaments that are going. You know, like that in the ground, a couple of these guys. Like these are the guys that are at the top of their game.
For sure.
Like, these are the guys that are like the best at what they do, and I appreciate anybody who's up there, like really good, the best at what they do, because it just takes a certain skill level. You know, it takes a certain determination. It's you're not just automatically there. You know, we see that's what we see. We see, hey, look at these guys, $20 million, you know, career winnings. You know, whatever the case may be, this business under da 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 da. Yeah, we see that, but when you start reading their biographies, when you start finding out about the story, you realize that, like, you don't start there.
Right.
You know, you don't just start there.
Right.
Yeah, you got a couple people in life that just get blessed with the quote-unquote lottery ticket and start in a position up here, and they even take it even further, which I still respect that, because there's also a lot of guys who start up here and they just throw it all away because they were just given to it, so they understand the work ethic it takes to continue.
They didn't appreciate
you know, so like they say, you know, third generation businesses usually fail because, you know, the one who started it was an entrepreneur. He did something. He started from nothing. He built it from the top. You know, sometimes the second ones, you know, you got your little. They could take it even bigger, or they can drop it down. Yeah. And then you got the third generation. Literally, their whole life is a silver spoon.
Well, you know, that's what happened with Gucci, right? So I just saw the House of Gucci with my wife.
Oh, wow.
And
where'd you catch that?
I downloaded it.
Okay.
Yeah. So my wife and I were watching it, but first generation grandfather started Gucci, then his sons kind of took it to the next level, but the third generation lost it. Now, none of the Gucci family actually operate Gucci. It's all investors.
Yeah, I mean,
foreign investors.
Yeah, and that's
just like I said, the third generation swindled it away and lost it. And investors came in and scooped it up.
Or, you know, and like the saying goes, you know, you want to leave a legacy. You want people, you want your family down the road 4 or 5 generations to remember you. You know, remember Carlos, remember Alon, saying, "This is the man that changed my family's path." You know, my parents, my grandparents, they left Cuba. Well, I don't know what would happen if they never left Cuba and I'd be born in Cuba. Like, you know, who knows? Like, I know one thing. What I do know, like, I was never gonna be a success in Cuba, because it's just not allowed. It's not there for you.
Yeah.
The people succeed are the people who are in the government, and they squander everything away. So the decision they made, what they had to do to get to this country, it's not, hey, I'm just gonna hop on a flight, I'm gonna go to Miami, I'm leaving Cuba. It doesn't really work like that. It doesn't really work like that. So my grandparents, you know, my parents who came, that will be remembered down my family line for completely changing the path. You know, they came to America, completely changed the path. You know, my father, he had a company, he sold it. He did something for himself, you know, coming into a country where he didn't speak the language and the people didn't want him here. Yeah. And he still, you know, through all that, he still ended up doing something for herself. Same for my mother, you know. My mother's they're both extremely successful, but she's like more of a spiritual, more of a holistic, more of a learner. My father's more of like hard worker. So I like to think that I got a little bit of both sides, you know, and it's a big part of who I am today and why I am today. I also like to consider myself the black sheep of the family.
Why is that?
I feel like, you know, my sister, she just got a job with Netflix. She got an MBA, so she's got an MBA. My brother went to UPenn, Ivy League, got a coder's degree. Now he's works remotely, coder for a startup. So he's got I guess he has some options in the company. And then me, I think I might have gone to 7 years of school with no degree. You know, I worked in restaurants. I did a lot of things I probably shouldn't have done. You might know about that. I'm not going to elaborate on that. People you can go ahead and picture whatever you want in your mind. You can go ahead and assume. I'm not going to confirm or deny anything. But that was me. I've asked a lot of my family for money. You know, in the past, and they've been there for me. You know, that they can help me out. My family is not extremely wealthy by any means, but they will be.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to say that I'm going to be part of the reason that that's the case.
Absolutely, without a doubt.
So that's what I like to say on the black sheep. I did things different than everybody else. You know, my parents didn't have a degree. You know, they came to this country. I know my dad started working full time when he was young, like really young, and I believe my mom as well. So they never really got the degree. I think they both went to college, but they never really got a degree. I don't have my degree, and I have no honestly, I have no plans on going back and getting it.
Yeah.
You know, I know a lot of people that they do something they become very successful. They come back and they get honorary degrees. I have no desire at all.
Yeah.
You know, that's a system. And again, nothing to knock it, but for me, it's just not a system for me.
Yeah.
The whole education, there's knowledge and there's education. That's what you get an education in school, and it's important. But you get knowledge in life.
Sure.
You get knowledge from learning. You get knowledge from failing. And I like to say a lot of times, you know, you go the traditional route. You know, you start in school when you're 18. You graduate when you're 22, whatever the case may be, for your degree. You get a job. So now you go in. You have student loan debt. You're starting from negative, and you're getting a $35,000 a year job.
Yeah.
But somebody else at 18 can start a business. Get the lumps, get all the hit all the hiccups, hit the roadblocks.
Yeah.
By the time they're 4 years down the road, maybe their business is making the same amount, 35,000, but they're not in the negative.
Right.
And their chance of growth is exponential, where your chance of growth is pretty fixed.
Yeah.
You know, they're gonna give you your cost of living, you know, pay raise every year to make sure you never leave. But with inflation, it just basically just cancels out.
Totally
you leave your money in the bank, you're losing. You know, you don't double your money, you don't increase your money. So there's just something that's not for me. It's the whole rat race. You know, that school system is about the rat race. You know, you grow up, they tell you, hey, you can do whatever you want to do. You get to high school, it's like go to college and get a good job.
Right.
Like whatever happened, I can do whatever I wanted to do.
Right.
So
sort of stifle your dreams.
Exactly. And that's one thing I definitely appreciate with my mom. She has never been the type of person to she's been supportive of everything I did, and she's never been even though she wanted me to get a degree, and that's something me and her bicker about a lot. She's said, hey, you're a grown man, you do what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
You know, and I support you no matter what.
Yeah.
So it's always good to know you have that. Not everybody has that either. So it's good to make sure that you surround yourself with people who support the decisions you're making. At the end of the day, I tell this to everybody, whatever decision you make, be wary of taking the opinions of even people who love you, as in your mother, your father. Whatever happens from that decision you make, you deal with the consequences.
Absolutely.
Nobody else. So it's not fair to say, oh, because my mom loves me, because she wants to best me, she knows I should do this. Because now you're gonna be miserable, and what, you're gonna resent your mom because she's the one who forced you into it?
Right.
No, that's not the way to go. I would never, you know, whatever decisions my future children want to make, I'm gonna support. I'm gonna give them the options, and I'm gonna tell them what's probably gonna happen. They might not listen. They might. Who knows? Because when you're younger, apparently you know everything when you're 18.
Right.
And then when you're and 50-year-olds who've been through everything, they don't know anything.
Right.
And then when you're 50, you're like, oh, I see.
I see what they were saying. You know, I totally agree. And you know, I like you. I dropped out of college. You know, and I have two kids now, 12 and 11. And you know, as I get older, you know, and I always preach to them, be an entrepreneur, be an entrepreneur. But I also want to encourage them to go to college, get that degree for several reasons. One, the experience, the college experience, like I never truly had that. And I kind of wish I did, you know, and, you know, just the knowledge that they can gain at school, and the knowledge that I can give them in the real world, I feel like it'll make them a dual threat. And, you know, that's why I'm thinking about going back, because I kind of feel like a hypocrite, because I'm like, guys, I want you to go to college and get a degree. Well, they're like, Dad, you didn't.
Yeah.
You did fine without it, you know, so.
And you know what? That's good, though. That's smart for that. You know, because like we mentioned earlier, they're going to pick up what you do, not what you say. And they're like, look at him. You know, he makes more money than probably all my friends' parents, and they have jobs.
Yeah.
Why would I want to get one of these things?
Sure.
Job. You know, just one of these just over broke job.
Yeah, just over broke.
They give you just enough money for you not to quit.
It's the truth.
You know, just enough. Yeah, so
family.
It's that someone once told me that always makes me laugh. One of the most addictive drugs is a paycheck.
That's the truth. That's the truth.
So
it's hard to believe it.
It can kill your dreams. But I just, again, wrapping up now, I just want to say thank you again, brother.
Bro, thank you, man. This is a lot of fun.
You dropped some dimes.
This is a lot of fun.
I think I hope a lot of people will definitely, appreciate it.
Yeah.
Everything that you drop, I hope they appreciate some of the information. But more than anything, I'm just grateful you got here. I'm grateful you were able to make it. I'm grateful that, God put me in this position. So
absolutely, He's going to use you tremendously, man. And I always tell you this, like, dude, you're gonna be like, your future is so bright, and I always tell you this.
I know.
Your future is so incredibly bright, dude. Like,
it's funny too, because you're not the only person that says this, but it always makes me feel. It always humbles me when I hear people say this.
Yeah.
And you're not the only person that says it. And you know what? I always, and this again, in the most humblest way I could possibly say it, like, I've always just felt like I was special, personally.
You are without a doubt.
And everybody is. I just felt something inside of me. I felt like God put me here for something great. So it always feels good when I get to hear it. It's a very humbling thing when somebody else can, tell me that.
Yeah.
Everything I always said I was gonna do, whether I did or whether I didn't. I remember one guy told me one time, he's like, "It's so outlandish, but when you say it, I believe it. I believe you're gonna do it." Like, and it's like, it's because I believe that much. I have so much belief in myself that I project it onto others.
You got it. You need that.
You need that. Everybody needs that. Not just me. Everybody needs that. So whatever you do, if I'm gonna leave you off with one thing, it's definitely believe in yourself so much that others people, believe. Because at the end of the day, it's good when other people believe it, because you want as much, positivity around your goals, your dreams.
Yeah.
But you need God and yourself to believe it. That's all you really need. The rest is irrelevant. So, again, thank you again for being on here. We're gonna wrap this up. You're my brother.
You, man.
I appreciate you.
So
wanted
much,
to have
man.
the first episode with you, and thank you again, brother.
Thank you, bro.